Hello, horror fans. It's me, Cass, and
Kylee.
today we have on a very special guest. It's our friend Ken Sledge. How are you?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super stoked to be here.
We're super excited to have you. So if you don't know Ken, well, you're gonna know him now. Yeah.
You should.
You should refer to many clips or many parts of the episode where we've said things like "Thanks, Sledge" or "Thanks, Ken."
He says good things.
He does. He says great things. So
your guys' checks are in the mail, so thank you.
Okay, thank you. I just needed to make sure.
Yep.
But Ken is one of the faces behind Sledgehammer Horror, and they are an incredible channel. Him and his wife Ashley, they both do reviews together. Ashley unfortunately couldn't make it today, but we are holding it down with three of us, and we will have an episode in the future with Ken, Ashley, and both of us. And actually, this Thursday, which at this point in time, the episode coming out, you could go watch the replay. Yeah, it would be yesterday, but we're going and doing the Newly Dead game, which kind of brings a whole new layer to Kylee and I's joke about being married.
We're financially married.
We're financially we got financially married at Scarefest and joked that we got married and then had our honeymoon at Scarefest. And
we did go through Paris, Kentucky. We went to Paris together.
We did.
There you go.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
So, and we celebrated with cake. It was really bad cake too, but we did.
Then it was just like a wedding.
Yeah, exactly. It was. I'm always trying to. I'm like, Kylee, I could order a cake, and I don't know what it is. I think it's the German in me. I really do. Like, my Obi always just trying to push food on us, but I'm just like, I'm like, here, I love you. Here's a birthday cake for your birthday. I'm not gonna be here in a couple of days, and the birthday cake was horrible. So, but I wanted a black heart for Kylee. It's fine. We have the memories, but
yes.
Yes, that is. But we are going to be going toe-to-toe with two other couples for the Newly Dead game on Ken's channel. So please go check that out. We'll link it in the description down below so you can check out the replay. But we're just going to have fun and kind of be silly today because I think everybody's having a little bit of existential dread right now. And I think we all could just use a pick-me-up. So Ken, are you ready? Because this is your first time seeing our intro.
I was born ready.
Okay.
I came out the womb like Horrorcraft Podcast. Let's do this. Like 40 years in the making now.
I'll send back half that check for that. So, but all right. Well, we'll go ahead and cue the music. So let's do this.
Welcome to the Horrorcraft Podcast.
And we are back. So we're back. But yeah, so thank you. We haven't said it in a while, but thank you, Tanner, once again for doing our intro. We were tweaking it a little bit, but we are super excited for you guys to see the Spooky Moms intro coming up soon. But yes. Ken, are you ready? Because we're going to ask you some questions.
Let's do it.
Okay, so this is a very, like I always say, this is such a subjective question because it could be like right now, it could be all time, it could be all over. And I know you ask this question a lot of people, especially when it comes to their first horror movie. But what is your favorite horror movie? Could be right now or all time.
I have two answers for this.
Okay.
Because I feel like I should do like one like as a classic horror film and one as a current horror film.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going classic, it would be my first horror film, and it's House. Roger Cobb, like that's where horror started for me. And I still watch that movie probably once a quarter, so probably 4 or 5 times a year. And then my favorite current horror movie is a little gem from 2018 called Summer of '84.
Oh yes.
That's the only movie on Sledgehammer Horror I've ever given a 5 out of 5 skull review to. It's the only one. I don't give high reviews normally unless I truly, truly love something. And for me to give something even a 4 is almost unheard of. My negatives of Summer of '84 were like the most reachiest negatives I could possibly have. But man, that movie, I saw it and watched it with a buddy of mine that was like, "Hey, dude, you got to watch this film. Is it cool if I swing out?" And I was like, "Yeah, come on." We watched it and it was over. And I looked at him, he looked at me, and I was like, "Run it back." And we literally just watched it again, like right afterwards. And that's one of the very few films currently, like in modern time, that I can watch and just, I can put it on right now and just fall in love with how amazing that movie is. It's just such a great, great movie.
I have to agree that movie is so good, and I don't think people talk about it enough. Like it is kind of like the perfect movie.
They do little things in that movie that are so brilliant. Like, I'm a huge video game fan as well. Like I have a Super Nintendo controller tattooed on my leg. And when they go into the arcade, they have an arcade cabinet for Polybius. And Polybius is kind of this urban legend video game of did it exist? Did it kill people? And to see them actually put like a Polybius arcade cabinet in the movie, like I saw it, and I was the Leonardo DiCaprio meme. Like that was me at that moment. Like, oh my God. And I was so blessed. I got to interview the writer and director, Matt Leslie, about it. And he was like, dude, you're the first person that pointed out the fact that we put Polybius in the film. And like, I was like, dude, like you got to wake up pretty early to get Polybius past me in a film. Like it blew me away. And it's just, like I said, it's one of those movies that just absolutely incredible. Everything about it, the comedy, the coming of age aspect, the horror, the ending, like it was just the perfect film.
It really is. It's a banger. There are very few films that I feel like can leave you breathless, and that is one where you're just like.
And it has one of the saddest lines I think of any movie, at least that I could put in recent memory, when he's like, "I can't die tonight, man. My mom needs me." Like that part, like, dude, you're like, no, you're right. You can't die tonight. I'm not going to spoil if he does, but when he's sitting with, and just the way he delivers that line, I think anybody that's had a mom, a single mom especially, could completely relate to that line and the way he says it in the film.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy, Kylie? Like when Ken's talking about this, what I just realized? Monster Summer that you and I really enjoyed. That's kind of like, that's kind of like a spiritual, like a Gremlins version, like the kid friendly version almost of that. And I really love that. I think I'm going to have to do it now where I watch both of those back to back. That would probably be
I haven't watched Summer of '84 in a long time, and I think I'm about to watch it when we're done tonight.
Yeah. It's such a good movie. So it's such a good movie. And man. Yeah, I'm good. I think I'm going to bust out my Blu-ray when we're done here, and I'm going to throw that one in too, because it's so good. Like there's just so much about it that just blows me away. Like it's just so incredible. The whole movie is just the acting and Mackie. Like he's so diabolical and scary. And another part, like, oh my God, you could get me on a tangent about this movie. But when he's looking through the yard with the binoculars, and he looks and he sees Mackie, and Mackie's looking at him with the binoculars. Like, oh man, that part is so damn good. Like it's so good. It's one of those moments where you're just like, oh, because like even like the kid in you comes out. The fear of doing something you're not supposed to do. And oh man, God, it's so good. So good. If you guys haven't seen Summer of '84, please go watch Summer of '84. I implore you. You will not regret it.
You really won't. That does kind of pair into the next question I want to ask you, what is a horror movie that instantly puts you in a creative mood?
The Dark and the Wicked, 2020.
Oh God, yeah.
I think what that movie does is I thought I was desensitized and nothing could scare me anymore. And then I watched that movie and I was like, damn, like I feel fear again. And so, watching The Dark and the Wicked, and again, like I could put this up there as one of my favorites, but it's just, I mean, the title pretty much nails it. It's very dark. It's not a movie that I enjoy watching repeatedly. I don't get joy out of repeated views just because of how dark and bleak it is. But when you watch it, it's so. I'm a huge Brian Bertino fan. Like I loved the first Strangers movie, and he did that. He did The Dark and the Wicked. He did Vicious this year or last year with Dakota Fanning. I just think that everything Brian does is so incredible. So The Dark and the Wicked would be one to get the creative juices flowing because it has a way of practically scaring you without going over the top and being crazy. If that makes any sense.
That does make sense.
I've never seen that, but I get that, like watching movies, because we watch so much horror movies, like it's hard to scare us anymore. You know what I mean? But when you do watch a movie that genuinely terrifies you, it brings back that feeling of being a kid and in family video store looking for your next horror movie, or you're watching AMC Fear Fest, or just, sci-fi, because we had cable TV, but you're looking for that next, scary movie that's going to scare the shit out of you again. You know what I mean? And it's a very nostalgic, warm and fuzzy blanket feeling.
Yeah, because it's kind of like how the Man in the Black Umbrella did for you, where it kind of reinvigorated you.
It really did. It got me excited for horror again.
Yeah, for me, like the movies that I've seen of his that he wrote and directed, whether it was The Strangers, Mockingbird, The Dark and the Wicked, Vicious, like these movies, every single one he does is just a hit to me. Like some hit a little less than others, but there's not one movie he's done where I'm like, man, come on. Like that, even Vicious last year. Did you guys see Vicious with Dakota Fanning?
No, it's on my list.
Put it up towards the top.
Yeah.
Was it the best movie of last year? No, but it was a movie that, again, has great moments of fear, great moments of anxiety. And Bertino has this way, like I said, with all three of his big releases of The Strangers, The Dark and the Wicked, and Vicious, that there's never a break in his movie. It's just constant tension. There's no jump scares. There's no laughs. It's just tension. And you're begging for a jump scare. You're begging for a laugh. Like, give me anything to break this tension. And he's like, no, I'm good. Sit there and, feel it. And he does that in Vicious too. Like you're just constantly like, okay, Brian, come on, break it. And Vicious has some great needle drops. My favorite old movie, House, my favorite classic movie. The song "This Is Dedicated to the One I Love" is all over that movie. "This Is Dedicated to the One I Love" is all over Vicious as well. And so, hearing that, I was like, ooh, it put me right back in that moment too. So, yeah.
See, the last movie I feel like for a while that made me feel like that was The Wretched, because I remember watching The Wretched, not really knowing what it was going to be about, and then it just kind of keeps going.
Yeah.
And so then when Kylee had me watch Man in the Black Umbrella, that was the same way. The last 30 minutes of that movie, that entity is a petty motherfucker. He just, the director, Ricky, we said it to him personally. We're like, we appreciate how fucked up you are, but what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
What was that?
What was that? It just kept, and of course Kylee had to show it in the rain. And that was that's when Mr. Morning comes for you. So
listen, I watched it alone by myself. Dakota was out of town helping his mom and dad with some stuff. So Zane and Raiden went to sleep, and I put that on, turned off all the lights, and it took me 45 minutes to go back into my bedroom because I was scared to get up off the couch.
Yeah. And I love when a movie can still do that to us.
Yeah, most definitely. So are you more of a let's plan everything, or let's wing it and see what survives when it comes to content?
Oh boy. I mean, both, honestly. But when I'm doing an interview or I'm, talking to somebody, I'm not scripted whatsoever. I don't have a script when I ask questions. And Ashley is the total opposite. Like, she wants questions mapped out. She wants everything. Like, and I think that's why it's so fun when me and her do interviews, because she has like her whole script and everything. And if you watch it, I'm going to break the fourth wall here, guys, for people that watch Sledgehammer Horror. When you watch Ashley smile and her arm move a little bit, she's slapping me in the leg. Like, all right, get back to the script, man. Like, you're going way off. And I think that's our yin and yang. And that's why her and I are such a successful couple in horror and couple in marriage. We've been together 21 years since high school. And it's because we are that yin and yang to each other. Like, we are the opposite on almost every level except for our love of horror and our children. Everything else is like polar opposites. But yeah, it's so I guess to answer your question, if it comes to the analytical side of Sledgehammer Horror, I am very, very meticulous. Like, very meticulous. And I'm still old school. Like, I have an agenda. I don't think I have my schedule book right here, but I do. I have a physical book, that I take with me everywhere I go, that has, as you can see here, guest with the Horrorcraft Podcast. It has everything is in my book all the time. And so, like, when it comes to planning and stuff like that and scheduling, I'm very, very meticulous, very particular, very specific. But when it comes to just like interviewing and talking to people, I like to just go with the flow and just talk and see what the conversation brings.
Yeah,
I feel like we're a lot like that. I mean, there are certain things that we're very regimented about. I know I can be, like, just with like posts and stuff, or just like this needs to get done, or like this year we have still yet to have a meeting of planning out tentatively what we're doing for 2026, and that is not like us. And I'm still kind of like, actually, I'm not really freaking out about it, because Jesus just take the wheel at this point. I feel like there are some things where we're like, we need to I'll call you like panicking, like, so what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? And you're
and I'm very like, I'm like, it's going to be okay. Like, we're going to figure. I feel like also though too, like, again, I've done this longer, and I kind of got just thrown the fuck into it, and like really just kind of had to figure certain things out for myself. And so like Kylee and I both, but like also too, I've just had some moments like breaking the fourth wall when I did some of the panels at Culture Fest. They were like, hey Cass, can you do this a couple hours before the panel was supposed to start? The person that was coming to do it didn't. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I could do, a couple. Sure. I've watched a lot of Jonathan Lipnicki movies. That's fine. I grew up with him. Shout out to Jonathan Lipnicki. You're great. But the Mighty Ducks one, they're like 30 minutes beforehand. Cass, we need you to do this. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to the bathroom, cracking open a water bottle after I get out, and we're doing this. So
how about that flying V, guys? What's up with the flying V?
Yeah. I was like,
I don't know. I think like since last year, like that's when I finally like bossed up and like was just kind of able to kind of like take over doing certain things, and like like just reaching out to people like, hey, will you come on the podcast? And like I did it, and I do it, but it's like I don't know. I will do it, but I panic.
I think the worst part about that, and I think we've actually, and I try to talk about this as often as I can, because I think it's important to talk about. We as podcasters are a very, very close community, and I talk to these ladies probably every day. Yeah. And not just about horror, like we talk about life and how we can help each other and how we can be there for each other. And it really is like a loving, caring family. And it's actually a shame that it's taken us this long to finally make something happen with each other, because we've been friends for so long. And I believe I even said that to you guys in one of our conversations. Like, the worst thing that's going to happen is they'll say no. Like at the end of the day, like the worst, like, and that's the thing. Like if you're going to be in this business, like rejection's going to happen and it's going to hurt and it's going to suck. But for every, one no you hear, you hope you hear 1,000 yeses, or for, you know what I mean? Like normally it's the opposite, but for the episodes that you get, I just feel like it makes you appreciate them so much more when the people are good people and they want to sit and kick it with you and talk to you. And I just feel like that makes things so much more special. And it kind of, every My First Horror Movie, like, or even when I do something like this, when people ask me to come on and talk on their show, like it revitalizes and rejuvenates my love of the genre and of the people in the genre, it's such a great group of people that we have. And, obviously there's always, problems in communities. I mean, that's a tale as old as time, but overall, like, there's so much love in this community. And when I get to work with people like you, or when someone agrees to do a My First Horror Movie, like I still I'm like 800 episodes in and I'm still like mind blown when someone says, yeah, I'll come on your show. I'm like, really? Like, God, I'm such a dork. Like, why do you want to hang with me? You know what I mean? Like, it's so cool.
Kylee and I just have so many moments where we're like, oh my gosh. Like, I mean, I know like for us, for Scarefest, like that was a big thing too. Cause it was like her and I actually doing things together. And it was kind of one of those things. And I think for me, like I've kind of been very lucky in a way where I've been exposed to different things and I have friends who have done the conventions and stuff like that, where I can go and I can talk to certain people. And also too, we're incredibly spoiled because a lot of the people that once they come on, we keep them. Bill Perry is a prime example, and he's the reason why we are spoiled when it comes to celebrities, because Bill, shout out to you, by the way. I'm going to tell you about this. Yeah, we're going to tell you about this. But and if you haven't seen the news about Bill and his movie, that's going to be incredible. He's currently working with Sarah Cochran, and they're going to develop one of his books into a movie with Scout Kaler Compton doing the directing. Nice. So we're super excited. But Bill's done everything. And I mean, everything. Like he was a stunt double for the Coreys, and he has just been in literally everything. And I think he's just spoiled us in the fact that he is just such a precious person. And like
he's such a kind human, and he's just loving, and he's an underrated gem in the horror genre.
Yeah. And, I mean, we have a lot of those, like Jamie from like Jamie still, I'll get a message from Jamie once a month. Like, hey, listen to the episode. Like, I know Jamie's popular because From is about to come back on.
Yep.
So, spoiler alert if you guys haven't gotten to that part, but sorry. But he's back. But I mean, we've just had a lot of people like that where they've come back and they say just really nice things about us. And it does. It's like, Kylee and I both sometimes are like, we're just moms from Ohio, man. Like,
yeah, man. Like, if you would have told me like 7 or 11 years ago that I would be doing this stuff and like getting these certain opportunities for something that has been such a huge part of my life since I was a kid and my healing journey with addiction, grief, trauma, that I would be just doing all this cool shit, I would have told you you're a liar.
Yeah, because your first 3 months that you came on for the podcast, like the first year Kylee and I met, like I don't think we knew we were going to be friends like that. There are other people that were like, we knew you guys were going to be friends like that. Her SPM was like one of them who came up to me and said, I knew you guys were going to be best friends. I could just see it. It was electric. And I knew you guys were going to be friends for life. But I
had no idea what I was signing up for, but I just, okay, fine, cool. She's cool. She wants me to be on her podcast. Well, I don't know what I have to offer.
It does help. You know what I mean? Like you sometimes, because you need a partner that's going to be honest with you too. You know, like absolutely. If I come up with something and I show it to Ashley and she'll tell me, she'll like, babe, this is stupid. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, we won't do that. My feelings don't get hurt. You know, like if it's just a single person show, sometimes it's hard to be able to know, like, is what I'm doing good? Like, and there's times where Ashley will come up with something and I'll be like, oh, how about we do this instead? You know, like, and I feel like when you have that close of a partnership, I wouldn't tell her no on an idea if it was good. Because if it's a good idea, let's do it. Let's try to bring some people in, you know? So I think having a partner in something like this is important.
Yeah. And there's stuff that like I may not want to do, but I'll do it for her. Or there's stuff that I want to do and she may not want to do, but she'll do for me. But if there is something stupid, we're like, nah, bro, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Okay?
I already tested my friendship lines by making her watch Phantom of the Opera. Okay. I'm still trying to live that down.
Listen, there's lots of things you owe me therapy and like Botox for.
Yeah. I got that IOU still stands, but I do think that you are right, because for me, I know like the success of just the last 2 years proved that, because like our friendship has just withstood a lot, and like we are just able to be honest with each other on a level that I just don't think a lot of people can be.
Well, and I think as special needs parents, like we're not able to kind of be friends with people who don't have kids with special needs. A lot of people just don't get it. And like, there's just a lot of scenarios that we just cannot do with having kids with special needs. And also like, we just kind of require a level of like honesty and no bullshit. Like I just can't tolerate it. And like, at the end of the day, like, I mean, Horrorcraft is definitely not going anywhere, but like our friendship means more than like, you know what I mean? Like when I first came on to Horrorcraft, like I was like 2 months in, that's when my mom died. Like Cass was there for me more than like certain people that like have been in my life for years, you know? And
I wish I get that. Sledgehammer Horror started in 2020. My mom died in 2019. You know, like she never got to see anything Sledgehammer. I mean, she does on the plane of existence she's on now, but it's like, I wish she could have been here to share in this with me, you know, so she could have, my mom would have been blown away. Like that I interviewed Jesus Garcia from Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, like that would have blown my mom away. Like she had a huge crush on him, you know, or when the first thing I thought of when we interviewed Lou Diamond Phillip was the fact that, you know, that's Richie Valens, you know what I mean? Like, and my mom would have freaked about that. And I just wish that I could have showed her some of these things and gave her, you know, more reasons to be proud of me than not proud with some other choices I've made. So I get what you're saying there. Like that one, that really, really hits.
Yeah, it does. And I think that's a reason why a lot of times, like, we do push each other in certain directions. Because I know, like me, I'll be like, you know, your dad would have just loved everything that you were doing, and your mom would have loved it too. And like, she'll do the same with me. Like, you know, like when we did Dios Dos Muertos month and we were talking about my uncle, and that's really the first time in years that I really kind of opened up about my uncle like that. And so there were times where she was like, I know this is hard, but like, I know your uncle's going to be proud of you. Like that you're talking about this, that you're sharing this, that you're pushing through like this. And so I think you do need people that really do push you in that way and help you keep those people's memories alive. Because I think for a big part of us, like Kylee and I both, like we're doing this for the people that can't be here to see us succeed. And so it keeps fueling and pushing us forward. So, you know, like we just did the episode of Sinners with her sister. And I know her dad would have loved to hear that.
He would have loved Sinners, man. He would have loved Sinners.
And that both of his daughters were getting along, doing an episode talking about a vampire movie together. Like,
well, it's like my cousin. He's like, I've just never seen you so happy. Like, I can just tell in your smile and in like your eyes. And I'm just like, Justin, stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
You're like, gosh. You're like, don't do it. You know, it's funny. It's funny, Sledge, that you were bringing that up about working with Ashley, because hear me out. We got 3 of them. So, and I know Ashley's like laser going to be focused into this part. So hear me out. Working with your spouse actually makes horror content better. Agree or disagree?
100% agree.
Yeah.
100% agree. To a point. Okay. If somebody says, man, this video sucks, and it's a Ken-centric video, I don't give a shit. I don't care. If someone posts something negative about Ashley, I flip the fuck out. I get very angry very fast. And luckily that happens very rarely. It's mostly like, damn, that girl's hot. And I'm like, yeah, I know. That's why I made her marry me. So that way if she wanted to leave, she had to like pay money and get a lawyer. And, you know, you might as well just stick around and stay with me.
Exactly.
But I mean, like, to me, it's like, I don't get mad when people think my wife is gorgeous, because she is, you know, like, I'm a secure man and I'm secure with my wife. But it's like, and I feel this way with all female content creators, and all female content creators that I'm friends with will verify this, because I'll go to war for them in their comments, which sometimes I shouldn't. But you spent all this time doing research and working and editing and filming and, you know, busting your fucking ass. And the first comment is like, damn, girl, what that mouth do? You just heard it. It works. That's what it does. It works.
Yeah.
You know, like it and like, that's the type of shit for me that I really hope we can get away from eventually. You know, and like I said, working with my wife, that shit pisses me off. And it's not because I'm insecure. What's Ashley going to do? Be like, oh, what's your address? I'll show you. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm insecure about it, but it's just it's disrespectful. You know, like, and that's it. That's my wife.
Yeah, it's the respect aspect of it. I think Kylee and I are the same way too. Like, even with each other, like, if people, a lot of times people are like, will make comments about me, but that'd be like, oh, Kylie's cool. And Kylie's like, fuck that. We're both the same people.
I can't stand that. I cannot stand that. Like, you're talking shit about her. You're talking shit about me because that's my best fucking friend. Yep. Like, you want the smoke, you got it. You're talking about her weight. You're talking about mine too.
Yeah. And that type of shit to me is just like, fuck off.
Well, and it just holds no fucking substance, because if that's the only things that you can say about people, or just making comments like that about a woman, like, you clearly, that is
the lack of brain cells you have.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You're not intelligent, and like, that's all you have to fucking bring. No.
Well, one thing that bothers me too, and it doesn't bother Ashley as much, which kudos to her, but it really bothers me when Ken. You know what I mean? Like, this is not Ken's channel. This is Ken and Ashley's channel. Mm-hmm. Like, and when I say this, man, like, I mean it. And anybody that doesn't understand, and again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything, but go back and watch Ashley and I's Didn't See That Coming episode on Sinister. And you will see firsthand, I don't write a fucking thing. Ashley writes every review. She writes every Didn't See That Coming. She writes every Versus episode. And I read it. And that's it. And we left an outtake / blooper in the episode. And I just start laughing reading the script, because it genuinely made me laugh. Like, and I tell people, like, I left that in there because I want people to understand that, like, that's the level of trust I have in my wife's brain. You know, like, you write something, I'm going to read it. That's it. I'm not going to question it. I'm not going to proofread it. You wrote it. It's going to be amazing. And I'm going to read it. And that's it. And
I think I saw this, because didn't she say that Michael Myers is better than Jason?
No. In this one, she was like, okay. So we were watching it, and we made a joke as we were watching the movie. There's a part where Ethan's character is out and he's burning stuff in the fire pit.
Yes.
And the wife comes out and he's like, go get the kids and get in the car. And in the script, like, Ashley was like, that's so something you would do. And I was like, no. So in the script, she wrote, he said, how'd she say it? Like, he says, go get in the car while I sit here at this fire and do nothing. And it made me laugh so hard, because she, like, put our real life into the script. And like I said, guys, I implore you guys, if you haven't, go watch our Didn't See That Coming on. Our Didn't See That Coming series is one of my favorites that we do. We haven't done an episode in a long time because they're a lot of work. But we essentially just dissect a movie with a twist ending and talk about what we love, what we didn't. And Ashley's got like 4 of them written, so we got to get back into them. But they're just such hell to record and edit. But I'm reading this and I literally just busted up laughing like when she said it. And she says things to me, and like the way that her brain works to me is so fucking incredible. We were doing a live one time, and she was talking about we were doing a live about Final Destination. I can't remember what the topic was exactly, but she was talking about how when people have a premonition, how they just freeze. And I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, I saw that clip.
I seen that. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that clip. Yeah, that was so hilarious.
Like, I hope that they parody that in a scary movie. How instead of showing the premonition, they just show the person like, and I just, oh my God, like I had never thought of it that way. And then like there was another episode. I believe we were doing a Saw franchise ranking, and we were talking about how in Saw 3D. Dr. Gordon had came back with his peg leg, and she's like, "How did they not know? Like seeing in the snow, like a peg leg?" And I was like that's where your brain goes. Like somebody looks at snow prints and like that's a peg leg. Dr. Gordon's back. And I'm like, how does your brain like do this? Like, how does it come up with like the funniest shit? Like, I wish I could come up with. I wish I could, just off the top of my head, come up with these funny things that make me laugh, like I end up laughing for like 10 minutes and I get so sidetracked on it. And I just think that she's so brilliant. Like, I'm not trying to gush or anything but
gush because that's your wife. Like, I mean,
yeah.
She's just like, I'm so fucking lucky. Like, I found my best friend in 2005 and, we went to see War of the Worlds together. That was our first date, was to go see War of the Worlds. And, we've just been like joined at the soul ever since then. And the things that she comes up with and the things she does, it never ceases to amaze me. And for Sledgehammer Horror for the longest time, like when we started, she wasn't in, even when we were in school and we did audio video production, like we did that, like we made movies and stuff in school. Like that was one of the classes we did together. Like she was always behind the camera.
I love that.
Yeah, she was always behind the camera. I was always in front of it. She was always writing. She was always directing. And I was always the one that was, storyboarding. And like that was our thing we would do. Like I love to do storyboards. I love to act. She loves to be behind the camera. She loves to write. She loves to direct. She loves to create shots. And, even for the first part of Sledgehammer Horror, like that was it. Like she was like, I'll do behind the scenes stuff. I'll help you do writing. And she came up with, didn't see that coming. She came up with verses. And I was like, I'll do these things if you do them with me. That's the only way that I'll start doing these. And so people have this weird thought that like Ashley forced herself into Sledgehammer Horror, like to be a part of it. And that couldn't be farther from the truth. Like it could not be. And anybody that knows Ashley, she is such an introvert and she's come out of her shell so much in the last, 6-7 years, that it's just incredible, that
who does that remind you of, Cass? That's why
but she like the way that she's been able to come out and what Sledgehammer Horror has done for her confidence. Like she's starting to see herself like I've always seen her. She's starting to get the confidence in her writing, in her abilities to be on camera as well as off camera. And like that to me, like I'm always that like there's this picture of us that a buddy of mine took when we were on set, and she's acting, and I'm just sitting over watching her, and you can see this picture, and I'm like just like a proud dad just watching her, which she was so pissed at me that day. There's a TV show on Tubi called Saint Gabriel, and Ashley and I had got a part in this TV show, and we got down there and we're prepping, and an actress didn't show up. So they're like, hey, we don't have an actress to play the waitress. And I was like, Ashley will do it. And she was like, shut the fuck up, Trent. No, I won't. And they're like, all right, Ashley, come here. And they threw a jacket on her and gave her a script. And she was just looking at me like, and she killed it. Like she did so damn good. And it was her first, like she had never been in front of a camera acting before. Like even when we did stuff in school, like very rarely she would have tiny little roles, because she didn't like being in front of the camera. But she did it and she killed it and she crushed it. And like everybody was so glad that she was a part of it. And afterwards, she was like, man, I was so mad at you, but it turned out so cool. And I was like, I know, like, I knew you could do it because you're just, her brain is like one of my favorite things on this planet besides my kids. Like the way, like watching her brain fire on different cylinders is just so, it's incredible. And I've been blessed to do it for 21 years and I'm hoping to do it for an infinite amount more. Like she'll never not like amaze me with the things that she does.
You guys heard it first.
This dynamic is just,
it's precious. Yeah, I was about to say, I think Kylee and I are really, really realizing we are really married because that's Kylee and I both. Like, there are times where I'm throwing her into things and she's looking at me like, are you really, no. And I'm like, no, you can do this. And then but a lot of times I think the same thing. Like people think, okay, well, Cass does this or or thinks weird things about our dynamic or like our friendship. And really, honestly, it's the reverse. And I will one day expose us and actually like put the amount of time, like average daily that we're on video chat with each other because it's fucking astounding to the point where our kids are just like, hi, Cass. Hi, Kylee. Or like, just like, we're literally like, she's cooking or like, I'm still, there's times where she, like the other day, she was like, oh shit, I forgot I was on the phone with you, bruh. I was like, oh, I was just here. I know.
Chilling. And then like when we're actually like talking about like podcast things, like business, they all want to like, it'll be Braden coming in. It'll be all three of mine. Like, I'm like, guys, like we're having a serious conversation. We're just not chit chatting like we always do. Like, I need you to be
this is serious, man. And they'll be like, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
But it's the same way. Like there are some things that come out of Kylie's brain that I'm like, where the fuck does that come from? Or moments between the two of us. Like we had one with LJ recently where I don't even know where it just came out of. I love
that guy.
Oh, LJ is amazing. But we did a Sweeney Todd episode and we were talking about something and I was like, I just have to say something, guys. And they're like, what? I'm like, okay, that's safe space, right? And Kylee looked at me like, what are you about to say? And all of a sudden I'm like, well, we just need to stop doing this where we ask for thoughts and prayers and then we don't elaborate. And then we keep asking for them over and over again. And you keep making messy things on the internet. And it just becomes and Kylie's like, afterwards, she's like, where the fuck did that come from? I'm like, well, truth be told, this is actually where it came from, but it's just popped in my brain.
Right.
So, what was the episode when we were like, people died?
People died. Like, we were referencing, or like the one episode for Crimson Peak where I think people just thought we were off our rocker because we were like, incest. Like, why,
we don't think incest is okay. Like,
but we were just laughing. Yeah, we were laughing the whole time, and we were just like
researching the history of incest, like as we're recording. Yeah, I just wanted to know who had the idea to think that maybe this is not okay and that we should not be sleeping with our family. Like, I just want to know.
Like, I'm so tired of seeing all these goddamn web feet. Okay, we got to do something here. We got to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to know when they were like, okay, this is bad and we're going to make this illegal and you're going to go to jail if you decide to have sexual relations with your brother or sister.
Yeah, we just got on one, but that's funny because the next one is, hear me out. The best ideas happen at the worst possible times, like right before bed.
See, where it's a little different is Ashley and I are on, like the reason she can be here tonight is because she works thirds and she, unfortunately, we had a death in the family.
Yeah.
And she had to make up tonight because she had to miss for the funeral. So, I'll wake up to 13 text messages from Ash, like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? How can we do this? How can we do that? And then, like, I'll be texting her throughout the day while she's sleeping, like, hey, I just thought about this. Hey, I just thought about that. So, I mean, like, I guess you could say that because we're waking up to that.
Yeah.
But because we're on different shifts, it also makes the time that we get together that much more important. because, not only do we do Sledgehammer Horror, and Sledgehammer Horror, like I just showed you guys here, like this schedule here is for February, and that is not counting guest spots. It's not counting shorts. It's not counting our own live episodes. And we also have 3 kids that we don't miss a dance class. We don't miss a football practice. We don't miss a wrestling meet. We don't miss a baseball practice. We are there for every single thing they do. And we both work full-time jobs. So, I mean, like, it's something where when we do get together, like, it's magic. And I'm not saying like we're the amazing creators, or that's not what I'm trying to say when I say magic. It's just because we appreciate that time together. So we are going to use it to the best of our ability, because, 4 days a week, I don't see her. I get out of work and she's going. So like when we do get that time together, we're so appreciative of it that like we'll do like 4 top 10s and a review in a day, take the next day and go to ballet, and then we'll while she like stuff like that. So that's why we backload so much. Like if you look at our upload schedule right now, our videos are edited, uploaded, and ready to go and scheduled through March 30th.
Holy shit, man.
So if we need to take a break and something happens, like unfortunately a death in the family, or our kids have a sick day and they need mom and dad there, because with our youngest, it's dad, dad. With the other 2, it's mom. So like it's one of those things where we are also very, very hands-on parents. We are still the parents that chaperone school dances. Like in our community, people know us. We're Kenny's mom and dad. We're Chloe's mom and dad. We're Kenley's mom and dad. It's Mr. Ken. It's Coach Ken. Because I coached baseball from the time Kenny was in T-ball up until he went to high school. So I was a T-ball coach. I know all the boys around here. Like they know me as Mr. Ken, as Coach Ken. And, I love being a man in the community. I love being a parent, and I love doing Sledgehammer Horror. Like these are things like I have such a good life, and it has nothing to do with money. Could always use a little more of that, but I wouldn't trade what I have for any amount of money. Like I have a great family. I have a great community that I live in with people that really care about us. I have a great community here of people that I genuinely love and best friends that I've met. And like I said, I talk to so many different creators all throughout the day that I've just become friends with. And that to me is so like, how can you not think that's special? Like that's the dopest thing in the world.
Well, we just didn't have that growing up. Like, we all got called weird in school because we liked scary movies and we liked weird shit. We liked weird music. You know what I mean? Now with social media, like we have a community and we have the ability to be able to talk to people. Like I know what the horror community has done for me has healed parts of me that I didn't know that could ever be healed. Right. And like I've just found an identity outside of just being an addict, being a mom, being a wife, like, you know what I mean? And just, there's just certain people that I love.
Yeah. And that brings me to my next point, which I think we could all agree. Hear me out. Horror fans are the most loyal audience on the internet. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Even when, like, obviously there's a level of toxicity there.
Yeah.
But one thing you can never take away from even somebody that you 100% disagree with in horror is their passion. Like they're super passionate. This isn't something I think we should really dive too much into because I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. But the Scream 7 discourse, I think that whichever side of the discourse that you're on, I appreciate your passion. But at the end of the day, if you want to help children in Palestine, and you're not doing that by spoiling movies for people.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. So
Preach.
I agree.
Well, I was blessed enough to have a sit down conversation with Melissa. And if anybody that's met her at cons knows, she only does things off the record, which is 100% understandable in her position. But Ash and I got a minute to talk to her, and we promised everything would stay off the record, which it did. And we got her, I'm not going to say what she said exactly, but we got her viewpoints on things, and she's happy. She's moved on, and that's what she expects people to do, is be happy and move on. It didn't end the way any of us wanted it to end,
No.
And now that I have heard the script for Scream 7, I'm kind of happy it did. But I just, the working script, and I don't think this is a spoiler because it's never going to happen, the conclusion of Scream 7 was going to have Melissa be the killer. She was going to be the ghost face of Scream 7.
I called it. Told you. Called it.
But
I don't think I would want that.
I didn't want that at all.
No.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah.
I think that, everything happens for a reason. I think that the horror gods could do the funniest goddamn thing in the world and put Melissa Barrera in Scary Movie 6. And I think that could be the funniest thing to ever. Could you imagine a scene in that movie where Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega just show up and they're like, I thought we weren't supposed to be here?
That would be
what I mean?
hilarious.
That would be fantastic.
Wouldn't that be hilarious?
That
you know
would
what I mean?
be fantastic.
And I think it would get a reaction out of Scream fans and the people that are protesting the movie. I think that they would all have that same type of whole. That's funny. I support Scream 7. I don't support genocide. I don't support war. And I think people that know me well know this.
Yeah.
I am anti-children getting killed. I am anti the genocide of the people of Palestine. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's a movie, and I've done what I can to help the people of Palestine. At the end of the day, I'm just some dude in Michigan. But, pirating a movie and boycotting it and spoiling it for people does nothing for a hungry kid in Palestine.
No, it's kind of the same.
You're not being a social justice warrior. You're being a dick. That's all.
It's the same. Yeah. It's the same stuff as like a lot of people felt the same way with the new Dracula movie because Luc Besson, who did The Fifth Element, he's had a predatory nature in the past with younger women, and there were a lot of people saying it, and it's like, okay, understandable, and I get that 100%, but he is one cog in this, and it would be really kind of disheartening to overlook so many people's performances in that movie and like the way that it's going to possibly, like, I hope Caleb Landry Jones is everywhere after this. Like, I mean, he was just electric in that movie, but so like
good.
He was so good. So it's just one of those things where it's like, that's not helping it. You know what I mean? Like, yes, that is not a great thing. That is something I will never stand for. And I don't think that makes him a good human being, nor would I ever, I would be the first person to be like, hey dude, that's disgusting. But
so, like, did he get charged with anything, or is this all?
No, it's just because he dated younger. Like he.
Now,
dated,
what do we mean by younger though? Like can you give me an example
under
here?
16? Like there's just been.
How old was he?
Way older. Like he dated a very young Mila Jovovich after The Fifth Element, and there's just been like creepy things with that, and but nothing has ever been like, I don't know. And that's where I'm just kind of like, there's a difference. But say, for instance, though, like you have Jeepers Creepers, where Jeepers Creepers is like, fuck Victor Salva, like, and so many people will tell you that. But I think there's a difference between like, we could say these things are super fucked up and we're not standing for those things, but we can also be like, hey, Scream meant a lot to us growing up, and it's its 30th anniversary. We have a Scream 7. Like, we can share it.
Well, I feel like at this point, it's going to be very hard to get away from certain people and certain things in the horror genre that have done some fucked up shit. And not even necessarily the horror genre, music, just literally everything. Okay. And like, I think we can respect art, but not respect
the artist,
the act, you know what I mean? I think there is like there's a line. And Scream, that franchise, like, there's so many people that are not horror fans that love Scream.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be people going to see that that are not horror fans but love Ghostface and love Scream. It's just very hard to compete with.
Yeah.
And it's not cool to be like spoiling movies or just like, don't go see this movie. Because I think like certain content creators doing that, I was talking to Cass about this earlier, you're kind of being a cult leader, to be honest. You're telling all your followers not to go see this movie and they're supposed to listen to you. I don't like that.
No, and like I said, you're being a dick. That's all you're doing. Like, you're not helping anybody.
Yeah, you're being a dick.
And it's funny because they're like, well, we're boycotting Spyglass. I'm like, well, are you boycotting Lionsgate and Warner Brothers too? No, why? Well, because they own Spyglass, dickhead. So if you're gonna, boycott Spyglass, you should probably boycott their umbrella companies too, because that's where most of their money comes from. Well, we can't just get rid of everything. Exactly, because this isn't about you trying to help the people of Palestine. It's because you want to be a dick to Scream. And I get it. I hate what they did to Melissa. I hate it. And I've gone on record saying she's one of the kindest, sweetest people I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. But again, it's time to move on. I don't support Zionists.
Yeah, that's what
you think. Better not do anything that has to do with Hollywood then. Like, I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Like, your selective outrage is sad. It's sad.
That part.
Find something that you can really do to help these people if that's what you want to do. Again, if somebody's watching this is getting upset, please understand that's not my intention. I'm not telling you shouldn't do a boycott. If that's what you feel is right for you, do it. Don't half-ass it. And if you really want to help people of Palestine, help them. That's a noble, honest thing to do.
Yeah.
I think that part of being in this country that we live in is the ability to have the freedoms to do and say what you want to do. I just don't think spoiling a movie for people is helping any cause anywhere. Just opinions.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. Yep. So, Sledge, we kind of talked so much about different things that I was going to have us talk about. But how did Sledgehammer Horror start in the first place?
Ashley was tired of seeing me. COVID hit and I was laid off and I was at home all the time. And she was like, you need a hobby. And my first horror movie is something that's been going on since like 1994. Whenever I would hang out with people, my mom and dad, really my grandma and grandpa, but my mom and dad owned a mom and pop video store in the town we lived in when I was growing up called Downtown Video. And so, like, being around movies and Nintendo cartridges is like my whole life as a kid, and baseball. Like, that was my whole life as a kid, was movies and baseball, and nothing's changed. So, like, we'd go to fires and stuff like that, and I'd always talk to people. What's the first horror movie you watched? Like, why do you love horror movies? Like, that's something I've always done. And COVID hit, I was home all the time, and Ashley was like, this is you should try, doing that on YouTube. Because I was literally just binging Dead Meat. I had just found Dead Meat, and always been big fans of James and Chelsea. The Drunk Disney stuff was great, and I never knew they moved over to Dead Meat. And I was just kind of binging their stuff, and she was like, "You could do something like that." And I was like, "No way." And she's like, "Yeah, I think you could interview people about their first horror movie, And so the first person I reached out to was Josh Eppard, the drummer from Coheed and Cambria, because always been a big Coheed fan, and I've always been a big Josh fan. I met him in 2002, and we clicked and had like a 2-hour conversation at the shelter in Detroit. And I told Ash, I was like, I'll reach out to him. I know he's a horror fan, and he answered me back within like 20 minutes. It was like, dude, he sent me a DM on Twitter. He's like, here's my phone number. Let's make this happen. And after that, like, I was like, people like this. Like, this is cool. Like, I'm having fun. And so, that's the origin story, and it was called Ken's Horror Corner at the time. And my best friend, me and Ashley's best friend, we grew up with him. I've known him since I was like 6. His name's Bill. He was like, so Ken's Horror Corner, huh? I was like, yeah. He's like, why not Sledgehammer Horror? Because my legal name is Ken Sledge. Like, that's not a stage name. That's my legal name. And I was just like, God damn it, Bill. That's so genius. Like, why? Like, it's so obvious, And so it was the perfect switch, just, from Ken's Horror Corner to Sledgehammer Horror. And, so I don't get credit for anything. I get credit for my first horror movie. Ashley's the one that was like, hey, you should start a YouTube channel doing this. And Bill was the one that was like, hey, dipshit, call it this. It's got a ring to it. And I was like, damn, dude, like, yeah. So, like I said, it was kind of a group thing between me, Ashley, and Bill. And Bill still does a lot. Like, every intro you see, whether it's the Didn't See That Coming intro, the Versus intro, the Villain of the Month intro, the My First Horror Movie intro, that's all Bill. Bill is, like, a very tech savvy and I'm geriatric. Like, I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. Like, my kids help me do more shit than I know how to do. It makes me seem a lot smarter than I am. But, you know, Bill was just like, hey, let me help a little bit. And he still today, like I said, he lives in Florida, been one of my best friends since we were kids. And dude does not watch any movies ever. Like, hates movies with a passion. He's like, it's a waste of time. He's like, it is a waste of fucking time, dude. But he's so supportive of this.
What does he do? What does he do?
Dude, like, he's a genius. Like, I'll never forget, we were young and he built a computer. Board. Built a computer. I was like, that makes sense, Bill. I'm gonna go watch Salt Lake City Punk again for the 18th time. Have fun with your running PC, you dickhead. You know? So, like, he's one of those guys that's just like, he's smart for no reason. Like, he has no reason to be as smart as he is. And it's almost like Goodwill Hunting. Like, it pisses me off. I'm like, if you're still here in 20 years, I'll fucking kill you. You know what I mean? Like, that's how me and Bill are. He's a genius, and he's one of those guys that, like, the minute you meet him, he can make you laugh no matter what. Like, Bill can just make you laugh, but he's so fucking intelligent. Like, he's one of those people that, like, if I'm feeling like I have an existential moment right now, like, he's the guy that I'll have a conversation with, you know, and like, because he's like me, he's very politically down the middle. And I think where that's good is we both see both sides of the algorithm, because there's conservative things I agree with. There's liberal things I agree with. I mean, twist my arm, I'm probably a bit more liberal than I am conservative.
Yeah.
But there are conservative values that I hold, and I'm proud of the conservative values that I do hold. But once you get into, like, certain things, your algorithm will just start showing you those things over and over and over. So it's easy to just fall in line with that one thing. And this dude will just go and be like, yeah, well, I've switched my algorithm up to this. And he will manually do things just to switch his algorithm. And I'm like, dude, fuck you for being so cool. Like,
I wish
I'm a guy that forgets to dye his roots, you know. I look like Joe Keery in Cold Storage right now.
You know, Kylee doesn't even know this, but Horrorcraft Podcast wasn't our original name.
What?
Yeah.
I've been on this for almost 3 years, and you're just now telling me?
She's like, it was originally cast as Horror Corner.
My whole existence of the almost past 3 years is a lie.
No,
I'm financially married to you.
No,
how dare you?
Kylee, this is actually an intervention. Like, we're actually here to break this down for you. That's why they invited me on today.
So when we went live,
I'm not in the mood for the mind fuckery, okay? I'm not.
When we went live,
there's enough of that going on right now. You know what? You know what I haven't pulled out during this episode? What was Horrorcraft's real name? Tell me now.
So, when we first started out, and like I think I haven't really like fully like talked about it, but when I first started out, like, it was just going to be me. So, like, very similar to Sledge. Like, a lot of people don't realize this, but Horrorcraft really started in 2020. We started, it was something that I kind of came up with the help of a lot of different, like, Gavin, Ashley, Angie, like, just a lot of people when we had the 24-hour horror room on Clubhouse, and we had like Steve, Uncle Creepy running through, and we had Josh Stolberg popping in every now and again, and Ryan Murphy, not that Ryan Murphy, but the Ryan Murphy that does a horror podcast, but just like a lot of different people. And we were just trying to develop it. So then Brittany and I saw each other at a wedding. We were talking about it. She was like, do you remember all the late nights that we used to stay up and pretend that we were going to have something together? And like, we were going to be in a music band together, or we were going to do this and that. Like we would do these crazy things. And I was like, yeah, I'm developing this. So then I asked her to come and do it with me. So originally we were going to do like, we had either ghoul talk or like ghouls supporting ghouls was like our big thing. And then we started talking like different names, and it just like nothing really stuck. So then we started developing things, and we still didn't have a name. And I was like, okay, I want something that like kind of reflects like this is like what we live for. And so somehow I just put Horrorcraft together. So originally it was Horrorcraft, the Horrorcraft podcast with Cassandra and Bubbles, which was Brittany's stage name at the time, her stream name. And so we were like, okay, that's what we're going to do. So the original poster says the Horrorcraft podcast with Cassandra and Bubbles. And the first season we ran under that. When we came back after the break, when all of like, because we came out with so many episodes, and then Brain's grandma died, our best friend died. Like we had so many deaths due to COVID, and we came back months later. It was just the Horrorcraft podcast because we decided to drop all of that, and then that's what we came back at. So, yeah.
Well, I don't think I would have agreed to come on if the name was Ghouls Supporting Ghouls. I know that.
Yeah.
With love and peace.
Yeah, no. And like a big picture, we wanted something that we could actually trademark. And there were just a lot of things that were already either trademarked or people had distinct things for names with. And I wanted like a vampire name. And everything vampire related was like taken. Yeah. And so like we really didn't have like a lot of just different things. So it was actually American Horror Story that made me think of Horrorcraft, because I was like, oh, horror story, what's another horror story? Like, what would you be passionate about? And then I was like, oh, Horrorcraft. Oh, okay. The art of making horror. That makes sense. And so then, and that made sense because Brittany was the one that showed me American Horror Story. We went through all the seasons together, and that's what she did when I separated from Brayden's dad, and I was still healing from abuse. And so it was just like, it was that clicking moment of yes. And then we decided to add our names, but then it was then when we dropped the names and we went to just Horrorcraft Podcast, that's why I was like, oh shit, this is something. And never in my wildest dreams would I imagine going from that moment to like now. And we're about to be at 5 years this year. So, but yeah, I just realized that I don't think I've ever told you that before, Kylie. But that was a little Easter egg moment for Horrorcraft. Well, but that's because I could definitely relate.
We'll discuss this after the episode. I just feel like everything's a lie. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, it doesn't matter now because we are Horrorcraft and we're about to be Horrorcraft LLC, so it doesn't matter. So,
okay.
We're fine, guys. Our marriage will survive. So, so I think this is something like all of us kind of had to really talk about, but what's something that everybody out there listening might not realize, like how much actually work-wise and just everything period goes into constant horror creation?
One of my, and I actually just put this up on social media, one of my biggest annoyances are when people are like, oh, it's just a YouTube channel. You know, like, oh, it's just a podcast. I'm like, dude, the amount of work that goes into writing, editing, fighting copyrights, you know, like all these different things, like it's a full-time job. From completion, you know, because like again, I'm very meticulous. I'm very analytically driven. I'm a baseball guy. Analytics are very, very important to me. So I like if something's a split second off in my editing, I have to fix it. I'll upload the episode, I'll watch it, and then I go back, and sometimes I'll re-upload an episode 3 or 4 times, whether I'm battling copyright or I see something that I didn't see the first time I edited it. And it's not just that, but I got to capture every clip. So I have to, rip the Blu-ray to my computer and then capture all the images that I want or all the videos that I want and then put them into the episode. And it's a lot of work. Like, there's a lot of work. And it's not like, let's say I'm talking to somebody about their first horror movie and it's not a movie I've ever seen before. I'm going to watch it. That way I'm not, I know I have a leg to stand on when I'm talking about it in the episode. If we're doing a movie review, I mean, let me see if I still got some notes here from our latest movie review, just to kind of show you guys the amount of writing that goes into doing one of our reviews.
Yeah, in the early days.
This right here is us taking notes on. I'm not,
Holy shit, man! Yeah. Well, I mean, we know you. We know you, but that's, we do so much research and stuff like that. I think people just don't think about the things when we first started Horrorcraft, I don't know what the fuck Brittany and I were smoking, but we would watch 10 to 20 movies an episode. Like, if we even thought about a movie, we would watch it before we got on and we talked about the episode. And for our Lost in a Locker one, we watched 50. She came over for 3 days solid 1 week, and we watched, I think we watched 10, and then finally we tapped out and we're like, we'll watch one singly. So I don't know. It was a lot, man, back in the day. I'm glad now that we'll watch one, and then if I want to bring something up, we'll watch another. But for the most part, but we just do. And I think people think oh, you're watching horror movies. That's nothing. There's nothing to it.
How often do we get to just watch a movie just to watch a movie? It's not. It's
it almost
even if it's
weird.
Something. Yeah, am I allowed? Because I don't feel like I'm allowed. But,
yeah, I think another part about that's so weird about it. Sometimes when I watch a movie now, and it doesn't, because usually when Ashley and I will watch a movie, we'll watch it with the timestamp on, so I can get timestamps on when things are happening to make editing easier. So now if I'm watching a movie without a timestamp, I'm like, this kind of feels weird, because if something's happening, it's 2 minutes, 18 seconds. And then the next thing, oh shit, 18 minutes, 25 seconds. That just to make editing easier for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of work, and I think people just think, oh, well, it's just for your podcast or your little side project, and I'm like,
yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah,
that's great. It's thanks, man.
Yep.
What are you doing with your life?
Just that part.
I hate that shit.
Yeah.
So what? I mean, we kind of really just covered so many different things in this. And I really want to just end with this because I feel like there's so much more we could touch upon too when Ashley comes on and talk about things. But what does the future of Sledgehammer horror look like to you?
World domination.
Yeah.
I plan on overtaking the White House. I plan on sitting on a throne of skulls. And having people bow at my feet while Ashley fans me and feeds me grapes.
That is cool.
That part. You know what? The best advice I ever got, and I hate name dropping because I feel like such a dick when I do, but I have to say who said it. We were having a conversation with James and Chelsea from Dead Meat, and they told us some advice that they had gotten from the amazing, beautiful, gone way too soon Tony Todd. And Tony told them, and they told this to Ashley and I from their hearts as well, I hope that you do what you do until you're not happy doing it anymore. It's not about making money. It's not about getting fans. I hope that you do it until you're not happy doing it anymore. And that hit me so hard when they told us that, because Tony was a great guy. I got to meet him once, so it's not like I was his best friend or anything, but Tony Todd made a huge – the minute he met me, he shook my hand and he said, "What's your name?" And Ashley can vouch for this because it blew my mind. I was like, I could die a happy man now. He was like, "What's your name?" And I said, "Ken." And he said, "Ken, you give off an amazing aura." And I was like, okay, pull the plug. There's nothing that's ever going to top this moment,
Nothing.
And then,
no.
Yeah. So, when James – he told that to James and Chelsea talking about dead meat. I hope that you do that for as long as it makes you happy to do it. And they said the same thing to us. They're like, Sledges, this is what Tony told us. And we want to tell you, we hope that you do this for as long as you're happy doing it. And that's the best advice I've gotten. So the future for me is I hope that I'm just as happy doing this for the next 10 years as I have been for the last 6-7 years I've been doing it. I've never felt like, even though it's very hard work, I've never felt like I was actually working any time that I've been doing Sledgehammer Horror because I love this. I love working with my wife. I love interviewing people. I love watching horror movies. Learning how horror started for people is this weird, I do compare it to drug. And obviously none of us condone drug use. If you are going to use drugs, please use responsibly. But it is I get that high again every time I click record on Zoom to do it for my first horror movie with somebody. And I'm always chasing that dragon again. I want that high. I want that. I need to do an episode today. If the next 2 weeks after this, Ashley and I aren't doing anything except for one live a week, we need a break. After this February we've had, we need a reset. And it's not that we're not happy. It's not that we're not having fun. We just need a reset. That's it.
Yeah.
I guarantee you I will not be able to go 2 weeks without doing something.
Yeah.
My body won't let me. My body will not let me do it. So it's just one of those things where I would like to take 2 weeks off, but I'm a workaholic and I have to constantly do this or I will lose my mind.
Yeah, Day made me take a break from Hellzone and you made me take a break from Horrorcraft this past holidays. Well, we kind of had to. And I was just I don't know what to do. I'm bored. Mm-hmm. And I shouldn't be doing things. But then it was almost it was hard to get back into the groove of doing the things. And it's so much more than just talking about horror movies and posting them on the internet for me. Just the creating and putting it all together, even though it is very hard work. And a lot of times it's very, very frustrating. I hate technology and I hate Apple. Yeah, I hate Apple. Things like that. But it's just, I love it.
And I think the worst part about doing this is and I think everybody's experienced this that does content creation. You'll do that episode where you're like, this is going to be a fucking banger. This is the one. This is the fucking one. And it lands with nobody. And then you'll do an episode.
And then the most random one will be the one
most random ones pop up. Yeah.
Because the funniest one that popped off really for us that continues to, and maybe it's because we're hyping it, but the one with Day, and I think it's just because we had the whole wasn't that the wipe your ass one where it was
the guy didn't wipe his ass because it was gay.
Yeah, and we had a whole, because we did Reddit, and it was the last time we really, which we are get back into doing Reddit stories. Don't worry, guys. I've heard some complaints, and I get it. We're gonna try to figure that out. But that was the last time we did a really full episode, and it was Day, if you want to come on, we're gonna throw you in this, and that's what we did. And the last story, and it was the episode too that afterwards, Kylee and we ended up having to have a talk with our kids, washing your butts and taking a shower are gay things, because there actually is a subreddit where people talk about this and it's an incel type theory, and Kylee and I both were scared after we went through it. We were sending each other posts from it, and we were
we have to shower and we have to wipe our asses, okay? We have to. I'm waiting for the moment though that Julian comes out of the bathroom like, I wiped my own ass. Like, I just need him to do that one time. He's named after the kid from Big Daddy. Like, I just need him to do it one time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, really, actually, like Julian from Trailer Park Boys, but like I say, like from Big Daddy, but Dakota named him.
Well, do you know what the difference is between Elon Musk and a lemur?
What?
Elon Musk made an electric car, and a lemur Madagascar.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Ken, for coming on. We absolutely love this. I would ask you what you had coming out in the future, but you know what? I'm just going to post a link to your schedule and people can watch it from there. But please go give Ken some love. We love him. And again, we'll be on doing the Newly Dead game. So I would go ahead and intro us out. But I
do want to say real quick, we did do a collaboration here, so this is showing on the Sledgehammer Horror page. So if you're here watching this from Sledgehammer Horror, you just hit the subscribe button. That's all you got to do. It's taking you right to this video. This is on their page. Yeah, guys, just make sure that you are subscribing to their channel as well. Like I said, they're amazing creators. In March, we've already talked about it. They're going to come on and do a My First Horror Movie, or they're grounded. Like we've already had this discussion.
Well, yeah, we did, and actually, we do have some like familiar people coming on from have done a segment. So Kara on air is doing one,
Kara.
And she's coming on and doing Women in Horror Month. We have a bunch of bangers. Her and Jordana from Pretty Killer.
Oh God, Jordana, that's my girl.
Yeah, and we have Evo Treese coming on too. And
I'm so excited.
Yeah, we're so excited because we love her. We're big. I've been a fan of hers since we started. Like she quite literally is the blueprint for just a lot of women in horror, and I love that. Yep. So, if
you hammerheads, if you're here from Sledgehammer Horror, hit that subscribe button, become a part of the Horrorcraft Podcast life as well. I promise you, like I said, you're not going to regret it. They're absolutely incredible, and you are going to love them.
Okay, well, we'll send back the whole check now. Thanks, Ken.
There you go.
But I am Cass, and
I am Kylee,
and we are the Horrorcraft Podcast, and we're saying bye and stay spooky. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.